In this video, I'll show you exactly how to connect Deepseek R1 to your make.com scenarios. I built one of the simplest examples I could here, which is where it's listening out for new topics within this Google Sheet. Then it will call Deepseek R1 and respond with the result. I've also added a trick so it excludes its chain of thought from this. Once you understand how this connection works, then you can use this in far more advanced automations, such as our blogging system, as you can see here. And by the way, if you want to get way ahead in your AI automation journey, then check out the link in the description to our community, where you'll get access to all of our automation templates, including this one. There are a bunch of different ways to connect to Deepseek R1 right now, and it's important to talk about this first. You can connect to Deepseek directly using their API. It's currently actually down because it's probably been bombarded with requests. If you're looking to quickly access Deepseek via API, this is by far the cheapest option. But I'm going to show you how to connect to Fireworks AI. That's for two reasons. First is that the model might be available when Deepseek is not. And secondly, it's due to privacy and data security concerns. When using this main Deepseek API, there are genuine questions over whether your data will be used to train future models. And the data is stored in Chinese data centers, which generally is not going to be directly aligned with US and EU laws. A key point of Deepseek is that it's open source and that it can be hosted anywhere. I'm going to show you how to connect to it via the Fireworks API, which is a company headquartered in California, and they have a zero data retention policy. The cost to call these models via these services is significantly more than calling Deepseek, but it's still a lot less than using models like OpenAI O1. And by the way, if you have very strict data security requirements, there are other options to host these, such as on private cloud services such as AWS or Google Cloud. So let's start from the very start. I have a blank make.com scenario here. I have a Google Sheet where I just have two columns here, topic and response. And I'm going to go to search more and then watch new roles. I'm going to search by path and click here to choose file. Now I'm just searching for my spreadsheet. I've now found my spreadsheet. I'm going to select the first sheet. Table contains headers. I'll keep the limit as that for the moment and press save. If I choose where to start, I'll select all. So now it should pick those up correctly. I'll press save. Next up, to interact with Fireworks, we need to use a HTTP module. So I'll type HTTP, make a request. Then go to fireworks.ai, click get started, set up an account. Once you have an account set up here, you can go to the top right, go to billing and add some credit. Then go to API keys, then create an API key. Enter in your API key name, and then you will get an API key. Copy that out, and then you can use this within your make.com scenario. Next up, we need to construct this request. So we'll go to HTTP, and then go to fireworks.ai. Then I'm going to click Deepseek R1, and then you'll see some guidance on what you need to do from there. So copy out this URL, the chat completions URL, into there. So that's the URL. We'll select post, add a header, then we'll type authorization and then bearer. And then finally, we need to copy out the API key that we made within Fireworks. So I've added in this API key here. I will delete this afterwards. Body type, I'll select raw, content type JSON, application JSON. And then we'll copy out this payload just to start with, as you see there. And then parse response yes, and then click save. So now I'm just going to try to call this request directly, run this module only. Perfect. So we have data, choices, number one, message. Excellent. So we already have a response. That did not take very long. I'll show you a trick afterwards to get rid of this think section from the start. Sometimes it will output a lot of its chain of thought, and then will then provide you with the actual answer from here. Before I do any of that, I now want to add in my topic here and then link that. So map that text from the Google Sheets to this. So all I need to do there is go down, and then under content, we'll select the topic from the Google Sheet. I'll also add another trick here later on to escape this JSON, just in case you are coming up with errors. But for the moment, we'll work with this and then click save again. Now, finally, before we do that, I'm going to click Google Sheets, update a row, and going to select enter manually. And I'm going to select the spreadsheet ID from the start, and then I'll then update the row with the response from this. So sheet name will be the sheet name from the first one. Row number is the row number first up, and then A to Z, and then within column B, which is the response. So that's where we want to respond the data. We'll, from the make a request, we'll go to choices, message, content. I click save again. Now I'll just enter a topic, explain AI agents. Now I'll click run once, then that will pick up this first topic. Then it's now going to make the request. Then it should update this with the response. Perfect, we've got a response. So let's have a look at this. Now we have an entire chain of thought at the start, which is not what we want. This is what Deepseek R1 has. It has this chain of thought similar to OpenAI's O1, but it's shown us here. So I need to explain AI agent. Let's start by breaking down what we know. That's the thought process. Then after that, it's shown us its actual answer, as you see here. We want to exclude this from the output. An easy way to do that is to use the split function and then add in a semicolon, and it's going to respond with this think string. So we'll split that, and then we'll use the last function to return the last element of the array. What it's doing there, it's splitting the array based on when this appears. So we will return the last part of that array, which is going to be this. And finally, we want to only do this if that text includes think within the output. So I'll select contains over here. This contains think. So if that's true, I'll add in a semicolon, then it's going to return the last item of that array, which is everything after think. However, we need to finish it off. If it does not include think, then we just want to output the entire string. Now click save. Oh, we actually need to close one of these functions. If contains goes in function there. I think we need to close this. So last. Okay, I think that's good. Let's press save. Save again. Now I'll just add this again. All right, so I've added in a new row, and now we'll try that again. Click save, run once. Now it's calling Deepseek R1 again. Okay, that's processed. Now, excellent. It looks like it's worked correctly. Let's have a look at the choices, content. Looking at the response, it did come back with this big long chain of thought. We've removed that entirely using this function and using this horrible function here. And then we now see the result here. That's how to connect via Fireworks AI. It's not the cheapest, so if you want to connect to Deepseek directly, then go to deepseek.com. At the top right, you see API platform as a button. When you go into that, at the moment I'm getting this, our website is currently unavailable. Deepseek is top of the world news at the moment, so I think it's getting heavily bombarded. But if you can get an API key and if the service is actually usable, then type Deepseek, and you see there are a few different options here. Go to Deepseek AI, and then create a chat completion. So select create a connection, and then you can add in your API key there. And the process is going to be quite similar to what we did for fireworks.ai, but it will be a little bit easier. Finally, you can connect via a service called OpenRouter. This is a great middleman service where you can connect to one API, which is OpenRouter. It's really good value, and you can even bring your own keys. Within this module, then you've very easily set up a connection. Then you can very quickly switch back between Deepseek R1 and many other models. This is great when using a no-code tool like make.com, where it's not always easy to swap between models, especially if you're using the native modules. It could take a long time to swap back and forth between them. If you want to learn how to connect to OpenRouter, then check out the link in the description where I go through that in detail. I also released a separate video recently explaining how to connect Deepseek to our blogging automation. I was having some issues with the output of R1 at the time. That may have been an issue due to OpenRouter swapping providers. If you are having issues with OpenRouter, you can connect directly via Fireworks, as I mentioned there, and you will probably get a good connection, or you can connect to Deepseek directly with potential concerns for data privacy and security, as I mentioned earlier. If you want to get way ahead in your AI automation journey, then check out the link in the description to our community, where you'll get access to all of our automation templates. You'll get instant access to all of these courses with more on the way. You can get support from us via our live workshops and through our active discussion boards.